Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to welcome all of you to our first anniversary and rededication of Sayler Park School. We're going to begin our program with our pledge to the flag, led by Joey Harvin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Have Mr. Katz, our music director, lead our 3rd and 4th grade in our song, God Bless America. Today, a year later, we are back here home to celebrate our 1st anniversary. Can you believe it's been 1 year already? And also the rededication of our building. I'd like to, first of all, recognize our guests today for being here. We have our superintendent, Mrs. Ronan. We have our board president, Mrs. Cooper Reed. We have board members, Miss Bolton, who went to school here at Sayler Park and was very instrumental. And we also have Mr. Manera, who is a newly elected board member. He hasn't been sworn in yet, but is already here to visit Sayler Park School. So we thank you. But we, first of all, couldn't do it without the Cincinnati Public Schools Board of Education, who approved our renovation, Turner Construction, Roth Partnership, our architects, Empire Construction, and a special recognition. Now, of course, I'm going to leave out some people, and please, forgive me if I do. We have with us Zach Farrell, who was our construction superintendent, and who kept us on track, on time, and a little bit early. So we want to thank him especially. If I call your name, I'd like for you to stand, because I want to see, where everybody is, because you deserve the recognition. So Zach, where are you standing? There you are. Oh, he's already standing. Okay. Also, we have Dick Crabiel and David Sig, who are our architects for the project. Dick, thanks for being here. couple of our people from Cincinnati Public who were in charge of our project, Mike Burson, who has since retired again, and Debbie Carley, who was our representative. They couldn't be with us today, I don't believe, but they were instrumental in getting our building together. We had a meeting with the board back in 2009 where we presented our case, and that's when we really got the ball rolling for the renovation to begin. And at that time, we had many members of the community, many members of the school and parents who were instrumental in getting the building built. So I'd like to recognize them. If they are here, if they would please stand. Rita Hardigree, who was our PTA president at that time. Thank you. Kristen McCoy, who is our current PTA president. She would stand. Linda Bingham, who was our LSDMC chairperson then, and is our chairperson now. So Linda, she's been one of our volunteers for probably about 30 years. So keep up the good work. Bob Bibbo, who was our Sayler Park Village Council president, I don't believe he is here, but he was instrumental in our renovation also. Pastor Nancy Rates, who was the pastor at Eden Chapel at that time, who is no longer there, but the current pastor is with us today. That's Pastor Peter Matthews, if he would stand. Thank you. In our building, Boys and Girls Club, and they work with our students after school until about 5:30, 6 o'clock. And the current director, site director for that is Tracy Bishop. I don't think she's here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And also we work very closely with our community center next door, our Community Memorial Center, and the current director now is Julie Fatora, and I believe she's here. Thank you for being here. Also, there's one person I'd like to thank, and that's my wife. Where is she? The Sayler Park staff, who are phenomenal in helping out. Anything that we need, Sayler Park staff is there, so let's give them a big round of applause too. But I'd like to recognize all of those teachers who were here those years when we were getting ready to build, and even before that, because they came back today to celebrate with us. So if they would stand, all of the teachers who were retired from Sayler Park School. Thank you for being here today. Yeah. I'd also like to especially thank the parents and the community for their involvement in this school, because without them, we would be nowhere. We would not be here today. So let's give them a big round of applause. Sayler Park had its own school district back in the late 1800s. As a matter of fact, we had our own school built in 1883 down on Parkland Avenue. And when that school got to be too old, and for other reasons, the village of Sayler Park became part of the city of Cincinnati. So Sayler Park became part of the city in the early 1900s. At that time, Sayler Park School became part of the Cincinnati Public School District. So we have been part of the Cincinnati Public School District for a little over 100 years. So let's give us a round of applause for being here. Our original building, which we still have and has been renovated, cost $377,000 to build. That's not a lot of money in these days for this big old building. The renovation that we have done, adding the new gym, the kitchen, the primary wing, cost $11.5 million. So, we got our money's worth, trust me. So we are very pleased and proud to be here. A very, very, very special introduction to our superintendent of schools, Mrs. Ronan. Mrs. Ronan and I worked together back in the good old days at Withrow High School. When I was in the high school, Mrs. Ronan was also in the high school. She has gone on to bigger and better things, and so have I. We have both taken different paths to get to where we wanted to be. And I am so pleased that she could be with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. It was so nice. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, students. Good morning, guests. I'm just so excited to be here today on the 1-year anniversary of this gorgeous, gorgeous building. You know, whenever I drive out here, which honestly isn't enough, because it is quite a trek driving out here, this is just such a charming school, such a wonderful community, family-oriented, beautiful houses, and it's a community that's always supported their school. And I know that many students here come from a long line of Sayler Park graduates, and that is just something that's really special these days. And it's really fitting that we would renovate this school so parents could drop off children into the same classrooms where they actually went to school. Plus, I couldn't help but notice the 2 great pieces of artwork that are in the front hallway donated by former students, which really just shows the loyalty and sense of community here at Sayler Park. Now, Mr. Vail kind of gave you an idea of how much it cost. It did cost $11 million for the additions, but the total to build this and to build the addition and renovate came up to $13.2 million for this state-of-the-art facility, which is, pretty incredible. It was built for 400 students, and it's got this great new gym. This is so wonderful. The new classroom wing, the extensive play areas, and lots of green space. You know, I have to say the design team, the LSDMC chair, and all the architects really did a great job preserving the special features from the original building, including the clock tower, which is now fully renovated. And I have to say, lots of Sayler Park residents had some strong views about what should be in the building, and we certainly took your advice, and it has turned out to be just a beautiful building with a community learning center that'll serve our youngsters after school hours. You know, we are actually at the end of our 10-year plan, and that was to make sure that every child in Cincinnati Public Schools is educated in a state-of-the-art 21st century school. And this is one of the schools that's right at the end of the project, and we want to thank all the taxpayers for your support, for passing a bond issue 10 years ago that allowed us to do this, and that future generations can come to school in this fabulous building. And I hope everyone out there is as pleased with this new building as I am and the board is. So thank you so much for inviting us out here today. Thank you.
Good morning, Sayler Park. That was one of the best responses I've had, and I've done a few of these. So good morning to you once again, and on behalf of the Cincinnati Board of Education, and particularly our board member, E. Bolton, who went here, I will mention that again because she's very proud of that, and Mr. Manera, who is going to be taking my place on the Board of Education ever so shortly. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for inviting us here, but more importantly, I just want to remind you that you all did this. The Cincinnati Board of Education represents you. You elect us. You decided that you wanted all your children to have newer renovated seats, and all we had to do over the last 10 years is to make sure that that happened. We dedicated and made sure that at every school at Sayler Park that you were able to pull together representatives from your entire community so that you could get exactly what you wanted to at this school. And we're so glad because one of the things about being a board member, it's a tough job from time to time. We don't get a lot of support in terms of thanks, but that's okay, because this is all the things that we need as we see you all enjoying this school and knowing that you're developing a community learning center Sayler Park is clearly wraps itself around its children. It clearly does that. It is so wonderful when we can come to a community that does that. So all I can say is congratulations, enjoy, and thank you on behalf of the Board of Education.
S-A-Y-L-E-R. What's that spell? Sayler. P-A-R-K. What's that spell? Sayler Park. Sayler Park is in the town, so everybody boogie to the ground. I stomp my feet, I boogie to the beat. I turn around, I touch the ground. I wiggle it just a little bit. H-E-L-L-O. Where the jabbers say hello, good luck to you. On the black and the gold, don't forget where you get your step. Now it's time to dominate.
We have some new artwork in our main entryway, and this artwork was done by former students, and I'm very pleased that they wanted to do artwork for us. So the one painting that is in the hallway of Sayler Park School was done by Allison Shepard. I don't know if she's here. Allison is here. Would you please stand? I'd like to give her recognition. That she has done for us at Sayler Park School, with incorporating all the vision of Sayler Park School, with the jaguar roaming in front, the flowers, the irises, the bunnies and the turtles, and there's also the Ohio River. A contemporary of hers who went to school here, who also has 4 children here, and he did the art carving, wood stain, on the opposite wall in the main lobby, and I'd like to recognize Mr. Alfonso Huckleberry. If he would stand, please, for his contribution to Sayler Park School also. So you can see we have many people who come back and keep giving to Sayler Park School even long after they've left Sayler Park School, and we are very grateful for that. Mr. Huckleberry works for Sam's Club. And Sam's Club has a special tribute that they do, and I'm going to have him come up here and do a presentation. Mr. Huckleberry.
Well, Sam's Club that I work at is on North Bend Road, and as a company, we really have a philosophy of giving back to the community that supports us as a company. So I wanted to talk about how Sam's does like to give back. So the hours that I spend creating the artwork for the school, we have another program called VAP, which means Volunteers Always Pay. So there was a separate grant that I applied for that will be coming to Sayler Park School as well for the artwork that I already created and put the time in for. But what they're here to talk about today is a teacher recognition program.
Alfonso did bring us involved with this, and this is a teacher appreciation award. We will be giving back $1,000 to the school. 20 of your teachers will receive a $50 gift card to help buy supplies and things for their room. As we all know, that the teachers take great care of the children at our schools and really take them in as their own. Sometimes they have to spend out of pocket to do things, and so hopefully this will help give back and help support some of that. So again, thank you for letting us be here. The greatest thing we do at SAMS is to serve and give back to our communities that we do serve. So again, thank you.
That's tremendous. The $1,000 that will go to our teachers, but also there will be another grant that will be coming to us thanks to Mr. Huckleberry for all his volunteer work. So we are very appreciative of that. We are going to have our song by Mr. Katz and the 3rd and 4th graders. We are the people of the 21st century. Thank you, Mr. Katz, and 3rd and 4th grade for that wonderful song. That is great. Thank you. At this time, we are going to do our special ribbon cutting to rededicate our school to the community of Sayler Park. Ready?
Here, hurry up.
3, 2, 1. Pop the ribbon. Yay! Great job. Again, I want to thank the Board of Education, Superintendent Ronan, board members, parents, community, everybody who has had any part in our renovation. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for this beautiful renovation and addition to our school. And we'll be in the 21st century and use it well. Thank you very much.